Being the people's reporter is not an easy job. Sometimes you have to do things that require a lot of work, require a lot of grit. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the greater good. And that is what I am setting out to do. In a world that ranks everything, what we don't have is a true ranking system for the hardest position in sports. What is it? Everybody's going to be biased to the sport that they play or the sport that they watch the most. Nobody's going to take into account positions like head coach, like GM. Nobody's going to remember F1 drivers, gymnasts, figure skaters. Who's going to talk about these people? Who's going to be their voice? I'll do it. I'm the guy. I'm going to find a way to rank equally, fairly, and justly the hardest positions in sports. Anything is on the table, from long snapper to speed skater to what's the rollerblade thing where they go around in a circle or something like that. What is that? Whatever that is, that's getting ranked. Ultimate frisbee, all of it. I'm going to find a way. I want you to stay tuned. And I understand this is going to be a long journey. This is going to be something that isn't going to be discovered in a year, 2 years. This is going to be a long time in the making. It might be a decade. But what I'm thinking is individual videos. I will have the same ranking system for every single one. I'll play it. I'll study it. I'll learn about it. I will do what the people need me to do. You've asked, I'm going to get the answers. You're welcome.
I've been told I'm not allowed to. Like the dream, you need a permit. Like to me, that's human purpose. That's the reason I'm on earth. It's the reason that I'm breathing. This ambition is a curse. I got the money singing. Bet that you don't know the words.
Welcome aboard The Uncommon Show. I am your host, Tyson Tully. I want to thank you so much for tuning in again to an episode that I have been extremely excited to talk about. Well, I get excited with every single episode, but I feel like we have some real world news to talk about this time, and we have some exciting stuff in the world of sure things now that we're into golf. As of recording this, it is Sunday, March 1st. I almost said February. I suck at dates. If you're tuned into this show on the regular, you know I suck at months. I suck at dates. It is Sunday, March 1st. As you'll know, being a consistent watcher of the show, I made a prediction of the Cognizant Classic. The last round is currently going on right now. I'm going to talk about that a little bit on the Sure Things part of the show, but I will not be able to talk about if my pick won or not, because by the time I'm done here, it'll still be going. So you have to tune into Thursday's episode for that. I apologize, but it is what it is. I got a life. I got to do things. Timing is everything. So we're going to talk about that. Obviously, I have to address the insane turn of events that happened over the weekend where the United States and Israel invaded Iran. Look, I had to learn what Islam was yesterday. I had to learn what Muslim meant yesterday. I wanted to make sure I could give an opinion on the matter, but I didn't want to sound ignorant or stupid. Maybe I have the grand idea. Maybe I have the perspective you've been looking for. Maybe you didn't want some professional to tell you what's going on over there. You just want some knucklehead telling you what's going on in the Middle East. We're going to talk about all that stuff. I got a sure thing for you, of course. I know that's why you tune in. That's what makes us all money. That's what gets everything going. I got a sure thing for you. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm still learning so much that I can't tell if you're subscribed or not. So if you aren't, or check, I think it's like that little bell thing. Click that. Make sure that you're subscribed, and we're going to go to the moon together. So with that being said, let's get into the sure things of the episode. Welcome back to Sure Things. Like I addressed at the beginning of the show, it is the 1st of March, which is a Sunday, and Sunday in the golf world means tournaments aren't over yet, at least depending on the time, right? As of recording this, it's 3:26 p.m. Shane Lowry, my pick to win this tournament, I think he's in second place as we speak, but he started the day in first. we'll see what happens with that. I hope you cashed it in. I hope you did, because you're in for a really, really fun Sunday when you listen to me. I don't know what I got to say. I try to tell you people, this is what I do. You know, my dad hits me up after Saturday and he says, your pick's in the lead. I just had to hit him with the, what did you expect? I tell you every single week. I tell you 17-9 in the NFL season. I tell you when the lines talk, I listen. I tell you, they're in my ear. I don't even need to look at the lines. I know who's going to be the favorite. I know who's going to win things. Now, this could all extremely backfire in a couple of hours if Shane decides to poo his pants. But at the moment, I look like Nostradamus. This is what I do. I have a gift, okay? I don't know why people are surprised by this, especially my own father. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I don't know why the Lord decided to bless me the way he did. Okay, you know, some people, they get the looks. Some people, they get the voice. Some people, they get the intuition. Some people, they get it all. I'm trying to give it back to the people. I'm recording my opinions. I'm telling you what it is, and I'm putting it out on the internet. It's not my fault if you choose not to listen. I hope you put a slightly uncomfortable but reasonable amount of money on Mr. Shane Lowry to win it all, because all you can ask for is a chance to win come Sunday. That's the latest on my sure thing of the week. I really wish this could have been at a time where it would be completed, so that way we could really celebrate together, but you'll have to wait for Thursday's episode for that. We will see. We will see. And I'll be there Thursday no matter what. If Shane poos his pants and he doesn't make it to the top, I'll still be there. I'll make my excuses. I'll explain how it's not my fault. But if he wins, I'll explain again how it is my duty to give back to you all of these gifts, all of this knowledge that I have been given. I gave you my college last week. I said I'm a Michigan guy, but I'm not telling you to take them for the tournament because a lot can happen. I want to see some more. With football just wrapping up, I hadn't really had a chance to watch a lot of it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've had a chance to watch some more Michigan film. Grab them now. Grab them to win the NCAA championship. Grab them to win the Big Ten. Grab them to win every game they play from here on out, because I have seen a lot of basketball teams. I have seen a lot of college basketball teams. I myself played on a college basketball team, obviously not at the level that these guys are playing at, but I have seen and watched a lot of basketball. And when I say that this team looks like the Monstars, I am not kidding you. They're huge. They're enormous. I mean, they got a 7'2" guy, 7'3", big white guy or big European. I can't tell what he is. It doesn't matter. He looks like a monster. You got 6'7" guys and 6'9" guys out there just built. I mean, it's insane how big these guys are. And it's even crazier when I realize that most of them are younger than me. That has been probably one of the hardest things about getting older, is I start to watch these sports games and realize that a lot of these guys who I'm rooting for, making money on, losing money on, putting the entire mood of my day resting on the balance of what they do, are all younger than me. They're children. The way that they move, the way that they play the game, Michigan Wolverines, I can't tell who their best player is. When you got a team that you're watching and you're going, who's the guy? Because they all look incredible. That's how you know you got something special. And that is why I'm saying the price is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. With every game at this point, the whole country is going to see these guys are not to be effed with. And so it's going to go down and down and down and down and down. I think the worst thing that could happen, frankly, is that they get the number 1 overall seed. I know that means you get to kind of choose your path, choose your region and all that stuff. But I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I don't want the top of the mountain. I want to be at the bottom of the mountain. I want the March Madness tournament to feel like a mountain that we need to climb as Wolverines. I don't want it to feel like it's ours to lose. It's not a good spot to be in with a bunch of 20-something-year-old kids playing basketball. You want them hungry. You want them angry. You want them striving for something. They're so good that they'll probably get it. I just don't really want it. I'm not going to be worried if we get it. I'm just going to be a little, okay, well, hopefully coach is, starving them or something like that, so they're a little hangry or something. I'll leave that up to the hands of the Michigan coaching staff. I trust them indefinitely, but that's the one thing I think if they don't get the number 1 overall seed, it's a lock. It's a lock. I mean, it's already a sure thing, but it's a lock. Grab them to win any game you see. Grab them to win any tournament that they're playing in from here on out. Grab them to, I don't know, grab them to be gold medalists. It doesn't matter. They're going to win. And then we'll see how things play out with Shane Lowry on Thursday. So that's another edition of the Sure Things segment. Let's make some money. As anybody who is tuned into this show knows, this is a serious show. We talk about serious things. I'm a serious guy, which is why I have to talk about what went down yesterday. I have to talk about the invasion of Iran by the United States military and Israel. I keep hearing that Israel is a part of it. I'm sure they are. It sort of feels like a situation where the United States is like, hey, we're kind of doing this for you, so you're going to tag along. Like it or not, you're going to tag along. You might want to sit back and watch Daddy handle this, flop the D out on the desk or whatever, but you're going to have to come along. Okay, you're going to have to get your hands dirty a little bit. You can't just watch us take your... Could we? Could we take care of it alone? Sure, but these are not going to be our sins alone. So it's a very, very interesting thing. I had to look up a lot about it. I had to hear some other opinions about it. People who, study topics like this, people who have been plugged in before, something like that. People who probably could have predicted that we were going to do something like this. I have not reached that level of skill. My intuition is strictly sports related at the moment. It's not necessarily politically related. We'll get there. We'll get there. We got a long, long ways to go, long political career ahead of us. But had to look into it a little bit. As I touched on at the beginning of the show, I didn't know the difference between Islam and Muslim. And I'm sorry if that's ignorant. I really am. But you know what I did is I went and educated myself. And now I understand that a Muslim is somebody who follows Islam. Islam is the religion. Muslim is the person. Got it. Understood. I also learned that Iran is a Islamic theocracy, which, if you don't know what a theocracy is, that means it's essentially a government ran by the church. So the big bad wolf in Iran was... I've seen this guy. He's gotten 9 names. I don't know what he goes by, actually. If it's, what is it? God, I'm blanking on it. But it's Khomeini, I think is how you say his name. Ali Khomeini. He's got another one. He's called the Supreme Leader. He's called the Ayatollah. I don't know if that's part of his name or if that's a position. But Supreme Leader is ultimately his political position. And it's very interesting because he is above the president. I didn't think Iran had a president. I thought he was the guy. I thought he simply was the guy in charge. And he is, and he isn't. The Iranian situation, right, all started because they had a Shah, which was basically a king, and he was overthrown because he was forgetting about the Islamic values that Iran was sort of built on. And so he was overthrown by a bunch of people who really were rooted in the Islamic faith. And fast forward 40, 50 years, we have the current situation of Iran, where you've got people who feel that their basic human rights are being neglected because they're so conservatively Islamic. And so they're saying, hey, I just want to feel like I can live a normal life. I want to feel like I have my basic rights. And there's been a lot of protests in Iran as of late. Now, the outcome of those protests have not been good. Let this be a lesson to the people who make protesting like part of their identity in the United States. Just say, just say thank you. Just feel so blessed. You want to know what happens if you protest the government in Iran? Not good. It's not good. You can't sit there and hold up signs that call him bad names. You can't say words and have a bunch of people hear if it's insults to this guy. It is bad news. He's the supreme leader, which means he has full control over the military. He has full control over the intelligence agencies. He ultimately can veto really anything that any other political figure has in that entire country. And guess what? He doesn't like being insulted. So, to the people who want to protest in the United States because they're unhappy with all of the opportunity in this country, and they don't like that we're number one, and they want to sit there and complain about every little thing because life is so much better in the United States that all you really have left is to invent problems. Just let it be a reminder that you live in the greatest country in the world, okay? There are places in this world that just speaking your mind about disagreeing with the guy who runs the show will have you gone, eliminated, terminated, finished, gone. That's reality. So say thank you, crazy protesters, blue-haired people, nut jobs, weirdos. Say thank you to our founding fathers. Say thank you to our Constitution. Say thank you to the United States as a whole. Why don't you use today as an opportunity to be patriotic and just say, God bless the fact that I am in the United States. What a blessing. What a blessing. I've never lived through anything like this. I mean, we are essentially killing. I mean, let's not hide from that. We're killing a bunch of people is what we're doing. But we're killing a bunch of people with the idea that we are giving a government back to the people who desperately wanted change. That's what we're doing. Now, there's a whole conversation that can be said that Trump ran on no new wars, that Trump, has talked negatively about the industrial military complex, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Epstein stuff comes out, and maybe he's a part of it, maybe he's not. Likely he's talked about in there, all this stuff, and then boom, war. It's hard not to say, well, this was clearly just another distraction. Or, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying it's or, the evils of the world, they all sort of start in a very specific part of the world with a very specific mindset, and they may or may not follow a set couple of religions. So maybe all he's doing is attacking the evil that we have now been made aware of, just in a way that can actually do good for the whole world. It does seem like it's a cover-up, though. It sure does. It sure seems like there are some bad things that people are going to learn about here or would have learned about. So we needed a pressing bad thing to get everybody's attention. It's just kind of what it looks like. I mean, there's definitely people in Iran that wanted to see this happen. So definitely people in the United States that wanted to see this happen. Definitely people in both places that did not want to see this happen. So I just find it fascinating. Like I said, I've never lived through anything like this. Hopefully, I distracted you from the nonsense of everyday life for a little while. I would love to know anybody who's watching this thoughts and opinions on anything that we talk about, but specifically this. One of the beautiful things about our country is that we get the right to debate. We can go back and forth. We can share different things. And look, war is not good. It's never good. I mean, people in our military are going to die. Civilians and other people who maybe don't want to get involved in fighting in Iran are going to die. People from Israel, good people, are going to die. That's not good. I don't want that. But it's fascinating. It's interesting, and I hope it does the world some good. I hope at the end of this can truly be looked at as a necessary, I don't want to call it a necessary evil, but pretty much that. I hope this can be looked at as a necessary evil because it's going to long term do a lot of good for a lot of people and hopefully stop some very unnecessary killings that have been happening for a really long time. So yeah, like I said, this is a serious show, so we had to talk about serious stuff. I appreciate you tuning into this. I'm not going to make you sit through much more because I understand that was very heavy and a lot of stuff. But stay tuned for Thursday's episode. We'll find out, or I guess just pay attention to the Cognizant Classic and you'll know before Thursday's episode if Shane Lowry won. But you're going to see my reaction on Thursday. Like I said, you're either going to get some excuses or you're going to get another braggadocious explanation as to why you need to be spending your money on the words that I say. So if you have an opinion on anything or you just want to talk smack, feel free. That's your right. The comments are wide open to you. I would actually love it if someone left a hateful comment on my show. They say if you don't have haters, you ain't got motion. And I want some motion. So please, haters, come at me. I want you. So that's another episode of The Uncommon Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.